Unfortunately, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man that go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression.
I didn't know, but now I know. No, we need your black card back. We don't want to hear you say nigga no more. We need your black card back.
The culture is sacred, and that's all I'm going to say. So you can come to the cookout,
But you can't eat a plate. You have exceeded
your nigga credit limit.
your black
Card has been revoked, 'cause we can tolerate ya, but we don't wanna hear you say nigga no more.
I don't like anything about Drake. I don't like his voice. I don't like what he talks about. I don't like his face. I don't like the way he walks. Like nothing. I don't like his haircut.
I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I hate the way that you sneak this. If I catch flight, it's gonna be direct. For all your dogs getting buried, that's a K with all these nines. He gon' see Pet Cemetery, nigga. I still got PTSD.
Nothing on that beat. Nope.
Hi. Monster on the beat, ho, Debo, any rap nigga, he a free throw, man down, call like Amber Lambs, tell him breathe, bro, nail a nigga to the cross, he walk around like Tizo. What's up with these jabroni ass niggas trying to see Compton? The industry can hate me, fuck them all and they mama. How many options you really got? I mean, it's too many options. I'm finna pass on this body, I'm John Stockton. Beat your ass and hide the Bible if God watching. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. Certified boogeyman, I'm the one that up to score with him. Walking down whole time, I know he got some hoe on him. Pole on him, extort shit, bully the flow on him. Say Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You better not ever go to cell block 1. To any bitch that talk to him and they in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from him. They tell me Chubb's the only one that get your hand-me-downs. And party at the party playing with his nose now. And Baka got a weird case, why is he around? Certified lover boys, certified pedophiles. Wop, 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 wop. That fuck him up. Wop, 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 wop. I'ma do my stuff. Why you trolling like a bitch, ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor. They not like us. They They not like us. 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 You think the Bay gon' let you disrespect Pop, nigga? I think that Oakland show gon' be your last stop, nigga. They cold foul, I don't know why you still pretending. What is the owl? Bird niggas and bird bitches, go. The audience not dumb, shape the stories how you want. Hatred, they're not slow. Rabbit hole is still deep, I can go further, I promise. Ain't that some B-rest that's for bitching? You Malibu most wanted, ain't no love boy, you ball boy, fresh Gatorade or something. Since 2009, I had this bitch jumping. You niggas would get a wedgie, be flipped over your boxes, or over your foe. The other vaginal option, pussy. Nigga better straighten they posture. Got favorites all up in contact. Might write this with a doctor. Tell a pop star quit hiding. Fuck a caption, won't action. No accident, I'm hands on. He fuck around, get polished. Fucked on Wayne Grow, like he was in jail. That's conniving. Then get his face tatted like a bitch apologizing. I'm glad D-Rose came home, y'all didn't deserve him neither. From Alondra down to Central, nigga better not speak on Serena. And your homeboy needs subpoena. That predator moving flocks. That name gotta be registered and placed on neighborhood watch. I lean on you niggas like another line of walk. Yeah, it's all eyes on me and I'ma send it up the pot. Ay, put the roll label on me, I'ma get them dropped. Ay, sweet chin music and I won't pass the ox. Ay, how many stocks do I really have in stock? Ay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. Ay, devil is a lie, here's 69 God. Ay, freaky ass niggas need to stay their ass inside. Ay, roll their ass up like a fresh pack of Zod. Ay, city is back up, it's a must, we outside. Ay. They not like us. 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 Once upon a time, all of us was in chains. Homie still double down, calling us some slaves. Atlanta was the mecca, building railroads and trains. Bear with me for a second, let me put y'all on game. The settlers was using town folk to make them richer. Fast forward 2024, you got the same agenda. You run to Atlanta when you need a check balance. Let me...
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. And as you can see, we have Mr. Gavin Richard, Esquire here once again. All right. He's been here.
You gotta let that music drop. Keep letting
I know, right? So we're going to have Gavin break down some of the allegations against Diddy, talk about the nefarious apology, and what it all means. Why Gavin seems to think, because you already know my thoughts, but why Gavin thinks that they dropped or leaked that video on yesterday. All right, so let's get into it. First of all, let's see who is in here. Everyone, please get the likes up. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. All right. Also, please don't forget to double check and make sure that you're still subscribed to the channel if you haven't done so already. Okay, because you know people become mysteriously unsubscribed. All right, follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, Twitter at DGoddess27. And if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Exit stage left. All right, Weezy is in the house, Queen Sam, Nessie X, Kimberly France, RG Titan. All right, so let's get into it. Queen Sam said, and Gavin, let's get into it. Absolutely, okay? So everyone, please get those likes up. Shout out to my moderators putting in work. I see you, Deronda, Tawana, above all that drama. All right, Desmond is here. April, One Who Cares, Bronze Flat Power God, Al Rich. Okay, so shout out to everyone in the chat, everyone tuned into the Queen and Gavin. All right, so hey, Teacup, I see you, beloved. And Lewis is in the house. Lewis Kendrick, DJ Big Six. Okay, so with that all being said,
Computer Robots.
Yeah,
he's one of my regulars on my channel.
Is he a troll?
Oh no.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, he's one of my regulars.
Shout out to Computer Robots. Okay, gotta watch with that name. Okay, re-educated soul. Okay, so Gavin, let's talk about it. So you looked over some of the documents. Now, first things first.
Mm-hmm.
I know you were on here before, and you were very non-biased and gave your legal thoughts, how we should wait for all the evidence before we jump to conclusions and all of that. Okay. Hey, Khalid. But with that all being said, let's talk about these allegations with Rodney Jones specifically. Okay, where he had named Lucian Grange and just different people that were supposed to be assisting Diddy. Now, so let me ask you this: if in fact Lucian Grange was, we're not even gonna say Lucian Grange. We'll just say these people like Christina Coram, who was the one of the people that was dealing with Diddy, Ethiopia Haptamariam, people like that. If they had actually been sending the money off to these SEX workers, and let's make sure we choose our words carefully, Gavin. Thank you.
Sure.
No
Yeah.
cursing and certain words we won't say. But if they were actually wiring the money to the SEX workers for Diddy, now what would they be looking at if there were any criminal charges filed?
Sure. Well, first off, thank you for having me come on your channel. It's always great to have you on. And before I begin, I just want to say that we need your black card no more. I was wondering, how did you get Eddie Kendricks back from the dead? Because that sounded like a Temptations album, but or the stylistics more or less.
I know, right?
That falsetto killed me. But to be okay, now segue to what you asked. I did get a chance to look at some of the documents you have, and just as a general rule, I always state that every person is innocent until proven guilty, until we know every facts. This is a civil lawsuit. If, let's just play a hypothetical, if certain individuals, and it hasn't been proven in court, but did play a role in an allegation of sex trafficking, an allegation, and I'm being very careful, or can I say SEX, or I can't say that? It's okay. All right. But it's
No, I was saying, I forgot my mic was off. Let's just spell it just to be on the safe side.
All right.
And our word.
It's the law,
we'll say, well, you know how ScrewTube is. I'm saying because of them. S assault, right? R word or grape, put a G in front of it. You know what I'm talking about.
If anybody were involved, let's just say trafficking. Let's just put it that way. And you all put 2 and 2 together. Then, likely speaking, depending on what they did, if they were complicit with it, in the law, strictly speaking, there's something. Now, it's different in different states have different laws. I do know they have filed this in federal court, and I think there's a federal law with that. But you could be charged what's called as a principal. In Louisiana, we call it principals. I believe in your state, you got the fireworks behind me. It could be, in other states, they say accessory before the fact, meaning you were complicit and you aided in the combination. You had a conspiracy. First off, you'd have to prove that, a criminal conspiracy, and that you'd have to prove there was a combination and agreement by any of the individuals in furtherance of that, and that they actively participated in that said conspiracy, and they also participated in the crime. So it would depend on exactly what those individuals, if it's proven in court, what exactly their role was and what they did. And yes, they could be liable. Now, notice I want to point out very much in the lawsuit, just similar to what the lawsuit was with Cassie in Jones's lawsuit, he has named several businesses as well, not just individuals as defendants. And he's named Motown, and Motown Records is a big name that's in that. But Motown is owned by an even bigger name, which is Universal Music Group. I believe Universal, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, that's the largest music company in the world. I know Sony ATV is the #1 music publishing, but I believe Universal is the largest one in the world. And interesting enough, since we talked about Drake, Lucian Grange is the one who's responsible, I think, for Drake, because he actually is the head of Universal Music, and he was listed as the most powerful man in the music industry. So I found that to be I think he was voted by Billboard as that. So I think that's very interesting. So yes, if they did have anything, if they played some type of role in something illicit, if they could prove that in court, the prosecutors beyond a reasonable doubt, or in this case, the preponderance of the evidence, because this is a civil lawsuit that they filed, they could be liable. Yeah.
Now, let me say this. Lucian Grange, just for FYI, Lucian Grange and Universal Music Group, UMG, they were dismissed from the lawsuit, for the claims that they aided and abetted Diddy. So with his sexual abuse and all of that stuff. So yeah, they've been dismissed from it.
What about Motown?
Ethiopia Haptamariam was taken off of the lawsuit. She supposedly was supposed to have said that she was going to speak on Diddy, but then she came back and said that she never said that she was going to witness to Diddy. So,
okay.
Now here's the next question I have. My next question is about the raids. So on the day that they enacted those raids at his properties, right?
Uh-huh.
What do you think led up to that? Because that same day they spoke with 4 people, 3 women and 1 man, and I'm pretty sure one of them was Cassie, who's pretty much the star witness of the whole thing. But so what do you think led up to the raids? Do you think they went there looking for well, here's the thing. First of all, what is the probability that they go and have such a raid where they go to several properties owned by the individual, but there's no arrest made?
Well, something very interesting about that it was Homeland Security that did the raids. I've never seen Homeland Security, and they've been around for about 20 years. Typically, they deal with things dealing with cyber terrorism or cyber stalking. I haven't seen them ever raid at someone's home. Typically, if there's a federal raid, it usually involves the FBI. I thought that was interesting. Even the feds, when Michael was accused of what he was doing, the FBI actually helped raid the home along with the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, which, even though that wasn't particular a federal crime that he was accused of, but they did. So, but just getting back to Diddy, typically speaking, if they were raiding his homes they raided both. I think they raided several homes.
Yeah, 3 of them. They don't mention the one in New York, but that was also supposedly raided too. And let me just say one more thing. When you say that you're not usually don't see them conducting the raid, right?
Homeland Security, right?
Okay, so right now, so I had looked into that also, and they said something about a transnational crime, and they said they also have a department that deals with sex trafficking. But the interesting thing is, to what your point, yeah, FBI agents along with the police raided Jeffrey Epstein's private island in the Caribbean. That what is it called? Little St.
Epstein
James.
Island? Okay.
Yeah, they said that was the FBI and the police. But continue.
Okay, so what we know, and I remember from what they were looking for, they had seized, I believe, like his computers, his software they had taken out. Supposedly, I didn't see this. I think they even saw some illicit firearms, but I don't think that happened because he would have been charged if they did find any illegal or illicit weapons on the premises. I do remember the kids being handcuffed outside the residence afterwards and then being released, which I thought was an issue. But typically speaking, I do know that Homeland Security, if they're looking for cyber stuff, perhaps they may be looking at some things related to that type of trafficking. That might be what they have, but I would be speculating. So I don't know exactly what it is that they found, what they were looking for. I think we all will see more. And of course, that video that came out, and I know we're going to talk about it later. I have a lot of questions about that too, about how that got leaked, because I don't believe, I can tell you this much. The feds, when they're doing an investigation into somebody, they want to make sure they have an airtight case. They only do it if they have an airtight case against you or it's politically motivated. So it's one of those two things. They would not leak out. I don't believe they would jeopardize and leaking that out. Now, maybe an individual, perhaps, but just my dealing with the feds, they don't typically do that.
Okay, gotcha. So with that all being said, definitely I think they have an airtight case because that came out. And now, why do you think that it would be leaked though? Do you think they were trying to basically, this is my opinion. I feel like they leaked it because they want people to see what he really did, especially for people who were saying that they didn't believe it or whatever, and also to further demonize him. So when they hit him with the fat owl that he's about to be hit with real soon, okay, that nobody is really going to have any empathy and sympathy for him. That's just my take. But what are yours?
Well, here's my take. Couple things. The video doesn't prove, that video that was released doesn't prove X trafficking. At best, at worst, just from that clip, what we saw him commit obviously a domestic abuse battery, which typically is not a federal crime. That in of itself is not. That is a state crime. And what we usually see from something like that, like I've tried cases, especially involving domestic violence, it's usually typically it is a misdemeanor. Typically speak now, if there were any injuries to her, which they were, and I mean severe injuries like a broken bones or so forth, even those charges can be up from let's say in Louisiana, we go from a domestic abuse battery, they could raise it to a second-degree battery, which is more severe, and it could be a felony because you have broken bones, if you have teeth missing, you have any type of injuries, let's say that may be life-sustaining, those can affect you for the rest of your life. Well, then the charges and the penalties get stiffer with that.
Right.
What we have here, sadly, unfortunately, nobody, including Cassie, never reported it, and no one was able to get it. Now, that in of itself, getting the video, and I asked why this video was released and who had it. If someone did, let's just say, get that video.
Hold on, Gavin. Al Rich, to your point, beloved, yes, they do have an SC, they do have a trafficking section, or in Homeland Security. Yeah, I told you all that before. I went over the whole thing with all they do, the transnational crimes and all that stuff. Yeah, they absolutely do. But you usually don't see them raiding someone's dwelling.
Right.
That's basically what he was saying. Now, okay, with the whole thing I don't really care about the video where it came from. I know where it came from. It came from the people who went in there and took it. It was in Diddy's house. They confiscated his videos. They said he had 250 cameras inside of the residence. So with that all being said, I believe they went there to get that footage. Not that footage, but all of the footage. Right,
but the point I was making is that if someone took video or anybody of his handlers had that footage and they took it from that hotel, and it's my understanding the hotel is closed.
No, Gavin, you're missing this part. You must not have been keeping up the whole case. Diddy bought that footage.
It was reported that he bought it for $50,000 in the lawsuit. I'm aware.
Right.
Of
okay. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
I didn't hear that confirmed, is what I'm looking at. That was confirmed. Has that been confirmed? He actually bought that? I'm careful with my words. That's why.
Okay. I got you. Yeah, from a legal standpoint. Okay, right. I got you. Yeah. Well, that's what Cassie alleged in the lawsuit. Right. Continue.
Well, what I'm saying is, if he did that, then that also in and of itself, that is another crime, because could be considered another crime, because that would be obstruction of justice if you tamper with evidence in any way. But yeah, if someone, I'm sorry, I'm getting a call. Let me just message them while I'm doing this. Excuse me. So yeah, but I got distracted. What was your question? What did I think?
So basically, let's just go with it like this. Let's just assume that Cassie's telling the truth and that the hotel did give it to him and he paid them $50,000. And then, so if that is the case and if that is the truth, then when they raided his home, that's where they would have gotten it, when they confiscate the stuff from there, if he had it in his possession, which is crazy because why didn't he destroy it? So my question is, if that tape was in Diddy's house and the Homeland Security agents did take it, right? And they gave it to CNN, who then leaked it and showed it to everybody, why do you think they would have done that? That's all I want to know.
Well, I think that going on that, if that is true, let's just say, probably to your point, yes, it could be to make him look bad. Although he did that, he played a large role in that. To have no sympathy for him, it is outside the statute of limitations, so he can't be prosecuted for that particular charge. So the only thing damage that can be done, and has been done rather, is to his reputation and his image, from that incident. But that also leads me to wonder, with the point you made, why would he keep that? That also leads me to speculate, what if someone else, probably in his home, or probably someone he knew, one of his handlers, actually got that and leaked it himself too? Because I can't see somebody holding on something incriminating and not destroying it. That's another thing that I have. But again, I don't know for a fact. But yes, I think that leaking it certainly, because here's the next thing. The lawsuits now are going to start coming in, because already more women are starting to come forward. I wouldn't be surprised if J-Lo would try, and this is my opinion too, she's already going through a divorce with allegedly
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, and she tries to say something happened with her. So that might, and I don't know if that's what will happen, but that wouldn't surprise me if it did. And he sold off all of his, but you see why that leads me to suspect why he started selling off all of his shares to Revolt, for Revolt and Bad Boy, and stepping down. is similar almost to what happened with Russell Simmons.
Right. Almost verbatim. Hold on. Alberta says, Queen, it's been said that due to the statute of limitations, LAPD can charge him for the damage and all. Yeah, of course they can. That's happened in 2016. That's 9 years ago. They can't charge him for a domestic assault that happened in 2016. That, of course. I don't know why anybody was even asking about that, because I saw people all day long acting like they were shocked. Oh, yeah, they can't do anything. Of course they can't do anything. That was in 2016. The attack in the hallway that he did on Cassie at that hotel, they can't do anything about that. That's too old, of course. That's why we have statute of limitations, because you have to come forward in a timely manner. So yeah, I already knew they couldn't do anything about that. I don't know why anybody thought they could.
Well, a lot of people are not hip to the law, and some of them, there were people even saying we should remove the statute of limitations because of that. No.
That's crazy.
Do that.
Sorry,
you can't do that because it's tough.
You know how many people that look like me would be locked up if they remove the statute? Come on, please. They shouldn't have even done it in the case of Bill Cosby, as far as I'm concerned. But continue.
Well, yeah. Well, with Bill Cosby, because someone even asked me that, what was the difference? The thing with Cosby, just briefly, is that they did change the law to go after him. Even after his incidents, they started to change laws in different states to make the statute of limitations longer. And the problem with that is that if I am, as Bill Cosby, if I'm 88 years old, how do I defend something that's alleged to have happened when I was 38 from 50 years ago? There's no way. I have no witnesses. There's no video recordings back in the day from that time like they have now. No cell phones, no social media. So it would be hard. But
and many of the witnesses are likely deceased.
Your witnesses are likely deceased. Also, some of the women, their allegations, their what they stated, their alibi, they got caught in lies. Like one woman said it happened in the Playboy Mansion in 2008. He played with my feet. Well, Bill Cosby, when she gave the date, was in New York getting eye surgery.
Yeah, so, we already know they lied on Bill Cosby. Right. We already know they were telling all kinds of lies.
Yeah. But that's part of, but we have to have a statute of limitation because it's finality. And, you wouldn't want, and I would say the same to anybody, you wouldn't want to go to jail for something that happened when you were in college for slapping a girl's butt. Yeah. You're going to go 20 years later and she didn't say anything. And yes, it was wrong, but
And here's the thing I want to say too. Somebody just said, I don't think J-Lo would sue him, especially with the C-19 video where the two were dancing. Yes, because recently I showed that to everybody. Him and J-Lo, they've been friends this whole time. Okay, they've been still in cahoots and friends and all that. Back during the pandemic, he had lives where he was having like a concert at his home and playing music and calling up other stars and celebrities and have them dancing with him on the live, and J-Lo was one of them. So really? Quite frankly, and also that video footage that was released that I also showed you guys where he was listing a bunch of people, and everybody at first thought that he was calling out people saying if they don't, speak up for him, that he's going to do something. But it turned out to actually be a video from 2020 where he was inviting people to his birthday party. He invited J-Lo. So they were friends. So she's not going to be suing him. If anything, she's going to be hoping that she doesn't get called in to testify, because she just might.
Perhaps.
If there's criminal charges.
Right. But just remember, Queen, J-Lo went at Wesley Snipes on that movie that movie Money Train that she did. She threw
I know. I remember.
So, yeah.
But she wasn't friends with Wesley Snipes, was she, prior to
that? Maybe not. But I mean, at that time, she was not a known star. At that time, all that she was known for was In Living Color. She was.
That's my point. Yeah, she'll be looking real crazy if she tries to go in on Diddy after she's sitting there cheesing and skinning and grinning with him on a whole video. You know what I'm saying? And then he invited her to a party and all that. So I'm sorry, J-Lo. It's not going to happen. You need to sit down somewhere, Jenny from the block. All right? But continue.
Yeah. Well, J-Lo thinks she's white too. So white women do strange things. But at any rate, we were talking about Diddy and the tape. Yeah, I just was saying that would be my theory, is that, somebody leaked it out. Perhaps it could have been someone from their department. Now, here's another thing. I don't know if anything will be made of it if it was leaked, but my only problem is when believing that if the feds did something or had something on Diddy, they have to be very careful about the information they leak out and give, because I'll give you an example. In New Orleans, where we had a shooting on the Dangzinger Bridge with the two brothers that were there. One of them was a mentally retarded man. The other was a young man who was killed. He was shot by the cops. They had the trial and the officers were convicted. But during the trial, the judge, they found out that the prosecutors were actually blogging during the trial while it was going on, despite his orders. So they had to reverse the verdict on a prosecutorial misconduct issue. Yeah. So that's why I'm just cautious. If it was fed, they would have to be very careful. Now, now it's happened. Obviously, remember that Supreme Court decision got leaked.
Yeah. Well, here's my thing. So with that all being said, since you bring that up, and yes, the feds usually are careful because that's what I told you guys before, Royals, if you all remember. I was saying that when people were saying months ago that there was a RICO charge coming for Diddy, I said, and they were saying secret sources told them and all this, some people were, and I'm like, okay, first of all, the feds are not going to be giving out that type of information. Okay, at the end of the day, if there's a private investigation going on, we're not going to know until they decide to make it publicly. Now, with that all being said, the agents, the Homeland Security agents, one of them anonymously spoke and said that none of them, in fact, knew whose home they were raiding that day. And that's likely because they didn't want anyone to tip Diddy off, even though I suspect that someone did tip him off regardless because he was conveniently at the Opa-locka airport on a private plane. Correct. Getting ready to bounce to the Bahamas, and his own private plane that he owns was just flying around back and forth like it was playing a game of cat and mouse or trying to send the people on a wild goose chase as they were monitoring it. So what I do know that even though they said that no one knew where they were going, the case agent knew. Okay. My uncle used to work with Homeland Security. He was a case agent. And he said if anybody knew, the case agent knew, and the people above the case agent. So I'm just saying that if somebody did leak that information to Diddy, it had to be somebody from one of the higher ups. But here's another theory. Maybe somebody from the higher ups wanted, was asked to send them in there together. Now, this is a big speculation, but just follow me. Maybe some of the higher ups or whomever sent the agents to do the raid did so because they went there to get evidence, that could incriminate other people like Lucian Grange, Clive Davis, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. And with that all being said, I mean, that's just a thought.
It could be a thought, yeah. Jeffrey,
so what's the probability, Gavin, of them conducting raids like that on several properties owned by a specific individual all on the same day and no arrests being made?
I haven't seen it like that.
Because usually when there's a raid, isn't there usually an arrest?
Not
all the time, but most of the time.
Maybe not immediately. I mean, they did raid Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago, but of course he got arrested sometime a little bit later,
right,
on the charges that he faced.
He's getting arrested. He's getting arrested soon, and that's why that video came out. Is my opinion. Okay, right. That's why that video came out. Now, let me ask you this: do you think that the releasing of that video could possibly, how do I want to put this? Could possibly taint the jury pool?
It could, yes and no. Yes, it could. Yes, it definitely could because the video is out there. So now everybody will have a negative impression of Diddy.
Preconceived notions.
Correct. And as an attorney, especially if you're a defense attorney, you would have to ask questions like that. And you can strike jurors for cause. Now, they had a situation similar to that with Harvey Weinstein. Especially with Me Too. All of the major stars, major people we could talk about during voir dire where they question the jurors, they've asked them that, like, what do you think of Harvey Weinstein and R. Kelly is in his situation, and even Bill Cosby, because they did all of these documentaries on them, and people, and they've asked them, have you ever watched these documentaries? So it does affect the jury pool. And look, jurors will even lie and say, well, no, I can be fair and biased, but deep down, are they telling the truth? I can't read their minds. So
no, people have cognitive biases. I wouldn't fall for it.
Right. No, but all you could do as a lawyer, especially if I'm going voir dire, is just question them. To be honest, I'll just give you an example too. The guy who did the movie, I don't know if you saw the movie The Burial, but the attorney,
I did. I loved it.
Willie Gary, right? I loved it too. Well, Willie Gary actually did a case with Johnny Cochran, and he told a story on 60 Minutes where he said he was down, he had no more challenges. You usually get 6 for any reason, and then after that you can't. So he just so happened to ask the people a question. His final question was, I'm trying this case with Johnny Cochran. Can you all be fair? And about 4 or 5 of the jurors who were white all raised their hand and said, no, I can't. And that was because it was just after the O.J. Simpson verdict, and a lot of the white jurors were so prejudiced, they were upset that O.J. got away with it. That's what they thought. And so they said, if you had Johnny Cochran, we can't try that case with him. So he was able to get rid of him. So people will have their innate biases. And yes, the videotape does affect and can affect the jury pool per se, but does that mean if they have concrete evidence, or they had evidence, I don't see a judge saying that the case can move forward just because jurors can't be biased. That's never really happened. They'll strike a juror if they say something from bias, but it's not going to stop the case from moving forward.
Right. Now, that much I do know. Now, Lisa Jackson, thank you for your contribution to the channel, beloved. She says it's not about who they can convict, it's about who they can protect. Now, with that all being said, I do think that certain people, they were trying to protect certain people. That's just my opinion. Sure. But they don't need to worry about Lucian Grange and Universal Music Group because they've already dismissed them from the portion of the lawsuit.
So let me ask you, because I see in the second lawsuit, in this Second Amendment complaint, Lucian Grange is in this suit. So they must have recently just dismissed. The plaintiffs dismissed them voluntarily.
He filed something for them to remove him from it. Lucian did, yeah. So he's out of there.
He filed probably a motion to dismiss. Now, it's not uncommon if they file defense attorneys. It's not uncommon under federal law. Oh, it was out for a second. They messing with YouTube?
No.
Okay.
No. I accidentally clicked on something. My mistake.
All right. It's not your fault this time, Screwtube. But, yeah, well, it's not uncommon if his attorneys did file a motion to dismiss what's called the 12B. If they didn't have enough, if they couldn't have a motion for summary judgment and they didn't have any evidence in which to put him on there, that's probably why he got it dismissed. But yeah, that's what I was curious about, because if you're going after Lucian Grange and Universal, that's big money.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like you said, that's
bigger than Diddy.
Well, of course, absolutely. That's like the most powerful person in the music industry. Now, Michael M says that apology video is a prelude to his feeling remorseful and so ashamed that he had to unalive himself. Mark my words. I'm glad you brought that up, beloved. I am so glad you brought that up. Let me tell y'all something. That's exactly what I told you all earlier today. I didn't say it about the apology per se, but that's exactly what I was thinking. But earlier I told you guys on the live that, the fact that Diddy has talked about unaliving himself before. Remember when I played you all the Fat Joe video when he was talking about this person and how he was trying to talk to them and help them, but he never said their name, but he dropped enough breadcrumbs that we could see that it was Diddy. And then, not to mention, his former bodyguard, Gene Deal, came out and said the same thing, that he wanted to unalive himself when it pertained to him possibly going to jail for the City College thing back in the 90s. So with that all being said, that's a way for him to turn up like Epstein's. All I'm saying, and I've been saying that also. And then the video, okay, not the apology video. I'm talking about the video footage that we all saw in yesterday. That video could be deemed as something so horrific and humiliating for him, and so many more people turn it against him. Even people that were trying to stand by him turn it against him. That possibly this.
You're muted.
Did I have my mic muted the whole time?
No, just for a few seconds.
Okay, I was about to say. Yeah, so basically that could possibly lead to them saying, if something shady happens to him, say, hey, He took himself out because he was embarrassed and humiliated, and everyone turned against him, and he didn't want to face prison time. I'm just saying that you know how the narrative goes. Now, Dorina said you did say that, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Okay, this is all nefarious. And then Al Rich says that apology has made things worse for him. He is either a puppet. He is either a puppet or puppet to the higher ups. He's an overseer. That's what I call him. Okay, so Gavin, what do you think about the apology video? Please tell.
I didn't. Well, I thought the apology video was a standard PR apology. Just my opinion. He was doing damage control. It sounded like something they told him. I noticed he didn't ask for forgiveness from Cassie or anyone. He just talked about how remorseful he was for it. And more or less, to me, it came off like he was remorseful that he got caught and that the video was there because he originally denied it. But
right.
It's not. But of course, he would have done better. Now, this is me as an attorney. He would have done better just letting his attorneys talk for him from a legal standpoint, because now you've come out, you've admitted that you did. This is you essentially, if you're asking, saying you're sorry, you admitted this was you, that you were committed this crime. And on top of that, you essentially also admitted you lied in part because you originally denied the allegations. Now, of course, he had to deny the allegations, for it. Now, there are some allegations I still am not 100% sure of, but at the same time, by him coming out and doing that, and especially with the public, everybody's going to look bad and says, well, you lied about this, and then you admit you did this, then that must mean everything she said might have been accurate or true. Now,
yeah, that's what it's looking like. Even though we can't substantiate it, that's what people are saying, because you said flat out that enough is enough and went on that whole little tirade. And then, you know what's ironic? Just days before that video was released, did you see his last post where he said time tells truth? And then that video comes out. I think they put that video out because he posted that too. Said time tells truth. And then here comes that video telling the truth. So looks pretty bad.
Could be, or Biden needed another distraction, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, T of Yah said that was a terrible move. Unless he can use it to say he was having mental issues, then he can go to a psych ward instead of jail. Yeah, I don't think this could help.
Well, I think so. I thought it was so it was a standard. The apology was a standard PR thing to me. Now, look, everybody. I heard people were comparing it with Chris Brown and Rihanna. Look, everybody has, and I'll say this, everybody has fallen short of the grace of God. Everybody has made a mistake and done something. I've represented people as an attorney who have done some horrific acts. I also know people can change, yes, but I think, so I'm not going to ever judge. I'm not going to so much say I'm not going to judge anybody because I've done my fair share, nothing like that. But I've done things that, yes, I was regretful for. But yeah. I think why everybody is looking at this and they're upset is because not only of how brutal it was, but the fact that he lied about it. He would have done better, like I said, letting his attorney speak for him.
That's definitely what he should have done.
I would have never advised him to go on Instagram. And here's the thing: when those guys actually have assistants and so forth, they have people that run their social media. So
I know.
I don't know why he would go through that and post with like what you said, and then on top of that, having has lawyers already denied what happened to him, denied the allegations. Don't speak. Your lawsuit has already been settled with Cassie. So now, by speaking up, you're already going to be opening yourself up to possibly even more lawsuits, which I think they're going to have a trust fund set up for different women who are going to come out and look. I wouldn't even doubt if some of it were false. I wouldn't even doubt if some of it were true. I just wouldn't know. But by him doing that, it's just open these floodgates now that's going to come forward. But, Diddy, and I don't see, and here's another thing too, I don't see his career coming back from this.
It's definitely not coming back. But let me ask you this, though. Now, you said if you were his attorney, you would not have advised him to go up there and do that apology. You would have told him to have the attorney speak for him. Now, yeah. I wonder if they didn't tell him that, because Diddy is such a narcissist, in my opinion, so arrogant, thinks he knows so much, that I think that even if they told him that, he'd say, I want to speak myself, thinking that he can fool people. That's what I think.
I agree. That could be that true too, because I've had arrogant clients who are people that think they can talk themselves out of trouble. I'll just give you an example. I was in court last year. I was stepped out. They called my client up to speak before the judge. They asked for me, and as I'm talking to the prosecutor, I walk over, and they're talking about her charge, and she splurts out loud, "I didn't even steal all of that. I only stole that." I was like, shh. I walked up. I told her this in her ear. I didn't say it on the mic. I said, "Shut the fuck. Shut the
Gavin,
fuck
no
up."
curse words. I told you, especially not the F word. Now be careful.
Sorry.
I know you like to curse. I don't curse on here. Continue.
Shut the
That
fuck.
is ridiculous.
Excuse my language. I'm sorry. I said shut the pluck. Pluck up.
Yeah, so I think he's absolutely one of those people that is, so arrogant that he would think that he can fool people because he's gotten away with so much and he's fooled people for so long. And some people are still fooled by him. Even though they saw the video, there's people making excuses, saying, well, maybe he did that because Cassie was trying to steal his money. Maybe she had his money in the bag. Like, just so ridiculous. So I think that's what it is. I also think that if if he's the kind of person that if he was on trial, criminally charged, and the attorneys are telling him you don't need to take the stand, as they often do, especially when it's something very serious, like a homicide case or something, I think he would be the one that wants to get up there and talk. No, I'm going to speak for myself. I think that he would want to do that. And he's not the type of person that's going to listen to anything that he doesn't want to listen to, just in my opinion.
Right. Well, he would be Fifth Amendment under the law and the Constitution. No person has the right to be forced to testify against themselves. So they can't use that. And they also instruct the jury that the fact that he doesn't want to testify, you can't use it against him.
No, I said I think that he would want to. We know you don't have to. Yeah. I'm saying that even if his attorneys advised him not to take the stand, he's so arrogant that I think he's the type of person, just like Trump. He's arrogant to a degree, almost like Trump, because Trump definitely doesn't listen to his attorneys, as we can see. They tell him to go left, he goes right, because he thinks he knows more than they do, even about the law.
He doesn't listen to the judge. The judge,
right. And that's what I'm saying. I think Diddy is akin to Trump in that aspect. So now, with that all being said, what do you think about? So you think the apology was a PR, was trying to do damage control? That's the same thing that I said. Clearly, trying to control the narrative, basically. And do you believe that he got counseling? He said he got counseling. And here's the question: when he goes to trial, right? Couldn't they, in fact, I know they could, but what if they, in fact, ask for the receipts, proving that he went to counseling after what he did in 2016 to Cassie? Because I don't believe he went to counseling at all. No. But what if they asked to see the receipts? I mean, that would just make him look so foolish. I mean, he should not have said a thing.
Not if it's not part of his defense. No, they can't just get your medical. See, if you were pleading an insanity defense, your medical.
He should just play crazy at this point. That's all he's got left.
Well, if he played the insanity defense, then yes, they can look at your medical records from that. But typically speaking, if it's not a part of your defense, there are HIPAA laws HIPAA regulations and laws that are in place that prevent people from getting your personal medical records. But he could. Playing crazy might help him. That's probably the only way.
That's the only thing he's got left. Right. Just start walking around, scratching in the wrong places and talking to himself,
But nobody's going to believe you're crazy when you just sold off all your shares from Revolt.
Yeah, I know. Stepped down, I know. I was being facetious, but at the end of the day, this is the end right here. I think that video being released yesterday was the nail in his coffin. Because, and then here's the thing that I thought was interesting, though. Some of the people who had been silent, some of these celebrities who had been silent, had not said a word, then they came out and started saying things. So there's one lady that came out, I don't believe what she says. Okay, this lady, that's a journal, or she's a writer, I believe. Her name is Kola Booth. Now, this is the lady, if you remember back in the day, she was supposedly Osama bin Laden's mistress. And, then she said that they kidnapped her and all this stuff, and she wasn't there voluntarily. And then she changed her story significantly. Now, this woman comes forward saying that she was friends with Kim Porter, even though she claims to have only met her once and talked to her on the phone several times. But she said that Diddy was, that basically that Kim Porter told her that Diddy would humiliate Kim in front of Cassie and beat her in front of Cassie, and Diddy would laugh. Cassie would laugh about it, and then said that one day Diddy had her to do this disgusting thing, like try to make her lick something that Cassie had used for her monthly or whatever. And I just don't believe it, because first of all, why would Kim Porter be telling you this? Even if she has talked to you on the phone several times, even if she did meet you once, why would she be telling you this? Her best friend is Kamora Lee Simmons. Now, Kamora never said any such thing. And see, that's my thing right here. After that video came out, it's a free-for-all. Some people are just going to be making up stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Now, some people are just going to be making up stuff, saying whatever. I don't believe that lady's telling the truth. Some people believe that she is telling the truth. I just don't believe her, because she changed her story already, as I showed you all today on the morning live when I read, about the previous thing with the Osama bin Laden and stuff. And I just don't believe her. I'm sorry. I don't see Kim Porter, who's a very smart and beautiful woman, telling somebody that she barely knows such intimate details of her relationship. Why would she be telling this lady this? And if she told the lady this, why are you just now coming out saying something after that video footage was leaked? This has been going on since November.
Well, you just answered the question. Attention. Likes, clicks.
Cloud chasing. Yeah, cloud chasing.
Yeah, people come and watch those videos. People watch what she's saying. So yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's everything is clickbait now, and people do things for views. So yeah, it could be true what happened, but I mean, based off what you say, I don't think everybody's gonna tell everybody their business. Although we live in that time, but what you're saying, Kim probably wouldn't have done that. So I haven't seen the video necessarily.
And another thing too, let me say this too. Another thing, she said that because Cassie was a teenager, right? Now one could argue that Cassie was immature and young back then. Cassie was 19 in 2005 when she started dating Diddy, so she was at least 19. A 19-year-old has common sense. So they should. Now, with that all being said, one could argue, well, maybe Cassie did it because she was young and naive and foolish. Okay, yeah, that could be the case. But I still don't think that's the case, because for one, Kim was allegedly friendly towards Cassie.
Mm-hmm.
And supposedly even met up with Cassie. And not to mention expressed concern and empathy for Cassie, because she likely knew, or felt that something was going to happen because she'd experienced things herself. Now, this is what has been alleged previously. So I definitely don't believe that Kim was telling her that Cassie was laughing while Diddy put hands on her or anything like that. And then here's the thing. If Cassie had sat there and seen Diddy putting hands on Kim, why would she laugh, first of all? But second, why would she stay with Diddy? If he's doing it to her, wouldn't that have been, let her know that this is who he is and what he does? And so she wouldn't have stayed. So I don't believe that at all. I think that lady just made it up, like you said, for clout. And I think there's going to be more people doing the same thing.
Money.
Yeah, exactly.
Why she would stay. Yeah. But, and here's the other thing too. I don't know if you saw. Did you see TD Jakes?
What did he do?
Well, he was addressing. He didn't name Diddy. He didn't name Diddy in the video, but he was talking about what was circulating, and basically, there's about a 4-minute clip of him talking about it, the situation. He was like, "I'm a father myself, and even though I do the names."
Hold on, let me find that. Where'd you see that at?
It's on YouTube.
Okay, hold on. Keep talking while I.
Yeah, Willie D Live was talking about it earlier. That's where I saw it. When he's not talking about a swallowing, Diddy's been swallowed. TD Jakes is talking about the scandal because it was a swallowing. Actually, I got the video right here.
Hold on, let me find it because I don't want to play the video. I just want to play the audio. I don't want to share it on the screen because I don't have permission.
Oh, you get a copyright strike. Yeah.
Not necessarily, usually a copyright claim or whatever, but I don't even want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. So I'm going to play the audio. Breaking news. Bishop T.D. Jakes takes time during his sermon to speak on Diddy viral video. Let's get into it.
Over social media that I happened to see.
Hold on, let me make sure there's
coming to church.
Let me make sure there's no copyrighted music on here. Hold on.
There isn't. Well, depending on what version you have. Not the one I saw.
No, I got this on TikTok. That's why I have to double check because they add stuff. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Requests that came in over social media that I happened just to see as I was coming to church. And the woman said to me, "Would you please pray for women who are living in danger in their own house?" There was something about the way she said it, and I know she's watching right now. There was something about the way she said it. It was a cry for help. And I realized something when I read what she said. As a father and as a husband and as a son and a mama's boy at that, when I saw the images that have been floating all over the news all week, it became difficult to watch. The atrocious, degrading, demeaning. I know who it was, but I saw my daughters. As a man, I saw my daughters. And I thought, if it affected me like that as a man, how much more is that image a trigger for women who have been through that, who are currently going through that, who are in the middle of that, who feel trapped? Possible to feel trapped and have a key to the door and still feel trapped in a situation you can't get out of. And you can be churched, you can be unchurched, you can be educated, you can be rich, you can be poor. But let me tell you something before we pray. And it's not always the man. Let me tell you a couple of things before we pray. Both for the victims and the perpetrator. There's something you need to understand. If you got a rage you can't control, you got to get some help, dude. You got to get some help. You got to come out of denial and get some help.
All right. So there you have it. He said you got to get some help. So yeah, I thank you for telling me about that because I had not seen that. I've been ripping and running and just working all day. Okay, so now what do you think? Because to me, now this is just my opinion again. It seems to me that possibly Bishop Jakes is using this as an opportunity to definitely distance himself from P. Diddy.
Well, I know that Bishop Jakes, I believe, is mentioned in this lawsuit as well.
Yes, yeah.
About not as a defendant, I believe, but just basically in how he was supposed to be complicit or help Diddy with counseling. Now, I don't pay attention to T.D. Jakes or these celebrities that much and what was said. And yes, it could be because social media really, I know last year, ate up T.D. Jakes over his comments, with the swallowing, and I've been swallowed and all that stuff. So that's been going on, but it could very well be. And we'd be speculating, but to that, and I don't want to speculate, but yes, it could be could it be a deflection from stuff that he is supposedly to have been a part of or is rumored to have been a part of? Yes. Could be. I think another problem I have, I don't really like running to these pastors per se for everything when every problem we have. Uh, he's entitled to his opinion, of course, but those guys are, it seems to be for the limited picture. Most of these celebrities that we have, Dick Gregory even said this, but these celebrities and athletes that we have, 90% of them rarely do anything for black people, for their own. So relying on them is like relying on a tooth fairy. Not happening. But I think that, yeah, Jakes could actually, yeah, somebody called him pork chop TD. Take that, snakes.
Right. Okay. So with that all being said, yeah, I think that he was trying to distance himself, and also because
I think it was,
and also because Diddy said that he got counseling. I think he also wanted to let people know that he didn't give him the counseling, because pastors do counsel people when they have issues and stuff. They go and talk to the pastor, and so that's why he said, "Dude, get some help."
Right. I think I think that's true. I also believe he was distancing himself from Diddy as much as possible. His honestly, my fiance was telling me she didn't believe he talked to no woman came up to Diddy Jakes to tell him about the video. I think he had thought about that beforehand. His PR people and his handlers probably told him, you need to address this because this stuff is bad. This is toxic.
Definitely toxic. Okay, so T of y'all said if Diddy got counseling and didn't work. Well, that's the same thing I said, beloved. I absolutely. Now, what do you think about Cuba Gooding Jr. being involved in this? And he spoke out the other day. Did you hear what he had to say?
I did read it. I was reading an article about it, how he denied the allegations. Yeah, and that was interesting to see him as a part of it. Cuba, and the way the lawsuit was written that I saw, how the attorney addressed Cuba as this washed-up actor, actually in the suit. How his career has gone downhill. He was a promising actor, and now is washed up. I thought that was interesting, the way the lawyer wrote that, and what he's accused of doing. Cuba Gooding Jr. had a charge on him a couple of years ago in New York for groping a woman that was following him around the club. So now he's being accused, especially now in this lawsuit, of being active with Diddy, but he denied, obviously, his conversations and his role with Diddy were minimal. So he's like, what are you doing to me? So I thought that was interesting. Again, I don't know. I read some of the lawsuit and what is alleged to have occurred, but I thought that's, I don't know, Hollywood. They call it Hollywood for a reason. That's the nickname they give Hollywood. It's Hollyweird. When we see stuff like that, when I'm reading stuff about Cuba, and again, it may or may not be true, but I just thought it was, I thought the way the lawyer drew up the lawsuit was interesting. Now, it's important to point out Cuba is not being charged with a crime as of right now. This is just a lawsuit that has been filed, and they've named him as a part of it. But I want to draw attention to something for everybody. Y'all remember when he pled guilty to that charge back in, I think it was in 2021 when he pled, or 2022, either way. Now, if he's in that lawsuit, it would not surprise me if they took his guilty plea from the minutes and try to use that as a prior bad act against him in this lawsuit. That very well could likely happen. And then all they would have to say, especially if you get in the juror's mind, well, wait, this was in New York. He was accused of doing an assault then. Could he have done the same thing in 2022 after all of this? Jury could be tainted.
Okay, never mind me, Gavin. I was changing my title now that we got the information about Bishop T.D. Jakes. Okay, so you can continue.
No, that's all I had on Cuba. I saw he denied it, and I think that that's not uncommon if he denies it. So he said, and just looking at this, he was only acquainted with Diddy back in 2019 and 2020. So And he says, now here's interesting. He said he was facilitated by his girlfriend, Claudia De Niro. Again, if you believe, this is from the source.com. So as I'm reading this, he says he didn't roll with Diddy too tough. He clarified that his interactions with the mogul were minimal and limited to 2 to 3 times, primarily socializing on New Year's Eve aboard Diddy's yacht while listening to music with Smith. Smith being the one who's initiated this lawsuit. So, and they've mentioned in here about the 2022 guilty plea he had for misdemeanor non-consensual kissing at a nightclub in 2018. So again, I think just my thoughts on it. Yeah, they could use that against. They may try and use that against him, of course. That allegation, but whether it can be proven what his role is, what Cuba Gooding's role is, may be minimal. So he might actually get what Grange has done, and might move to get this dismissed too, which is his options.
Okay, good. So do you think it was wise for him to speak out about it? Should he have stayed silent, not said anything? Because he actually did an interview. Now, I haven't seen Cuba do an interview in years, but he did an interview and he was asked about it during the interview. And I think, of course, he knew he was going to be asked about it. In fact, I think that's why he did the interview.
I always say whenever he who represents himself as his own lawyer has a fool for a client, is a saying that we have in our field. Definitely, I would have let my attorney speak for me, just as a general rule, because anything you say, people can turn it against you. Whereas a lawyer says it's like a filter to a water fountain in your water faucet in your kitchen. I certainly think that Cuba probably should have let his attorney speak for him. There's no harm in that and what he said. But now, here's the thing: when the case goes further, if the lawsuit does go further, are they going to take what he said from the radio station and try and look into what his claims are? That you only met
right
2 to 3 times. Well, turns out you met with him again in 2022. Y'all interacted for a period after that. You went back on his yacht. So definitely he could implicate himself. But again, if he feels he doesn't do anything, is there necessarily a law or rule saying you should remain silent? No, you can exercise your right to speak if you want. But yeah, I would definitely let my lawyers, especially with something like this, and nowadays, I let my lawyers do the talking. But then again, Queen, I can tell you this truthfully, even when you have lawyers talking on your behalf, the lawyers sometimes get in trouble. Because Bill Cosby's lawyer, I don't know if you noticed, he came out and spoke out against Janice Dickinson and her allegations, and he ended up getting sued for defamation.
Right.
Yes, she got sued, and she actually won, which I thought was interesting.
She only won because she was a witness against Bill Cosby.
Right.
Had she been a witness against somebody else that didn't look like Bill Cosby, I doubt it.
Right. And she had several lawsuits going on against different companies. My understanding, she was going bankrupt.
I'm not surprised. Okay, so I'm not surprised at all how that all played out. So with that all being said, Gavin, I'm going to put you on the spot. Now, I know that you don't like to draw conclusions and make assumptions and all of that, but because you're legally savvy and all that. But at the end of the day, here's the thing. First of all, let me ask you this. Wow. So by the fact that we saw the video of him assaulting Cassie, right?
Right.
We know that doesn't mean that he did the other things.
Right.
But the kind of people that engage in such violence as what we all witnessed are likely to do those kinds of things. That's just what it is. Because those other things are violence. But I'm not saying that he did it. Hold on. Hear me out. At the end of the day, if you ask psychologists, okay? If you ask psychologists, people who exhibit certain specific things, depraved acts of violence, not just regular violence like a slap or tap, a hit, a punch, But the way we saw that was brutal violence. So someone who does that, it is not a far stretch of the imagination to say or to assume that, yes, they would do the other things. And here's the thing, where Diddy damaged and muddied the waters for himself. When he spoke on it at all, like you said, apology or not, he should have definitely allowed either his attorneys or the PR team to speak on it, a spokesman or somebody. But nonetheless, being arrogant as he is, I'm sure that he thought that he would be better served and better suited to do the job himself. With that said, now he's done irreparable damage, in my opinion, and he's made it a whole lot worse, because now people like me who already didn't believe anything that he was saying and believed everything that the victims, or most of what the victims are saying, the accusers. So, yeah, I absolutely think that he did all the other things. Now, if you had your career on the line, I know you don't want to answer this, but if you had your law license on the line before the judge, before the Louisiana Bar Association, and they said to you, Mr. Gavin Richard, Esquire, do you think that he is guilty? Or do you believe Diddy? Or do you believe, now you got to answer.
No.
You got to answer. Would you say, venture to say that he's guilty? Or you believe him over the victims? Now, if you get the answer wrong, Mr. Richard, we're going to take your license for a period of 3 years. What would you say?
I can't answer that. You know that.
No, that's not an option. No. That's not an option,
No,
Mr. Richard.
I can't do that as a lawyer. I can't say that because we get in trouble. I'm a criminal defense lawyer. I can't say.
Okay, I
can't risk. No, even if I had a client. Well, I'll put it to you like this. Even if I have a client and who you all say is guilty and knows that as a lawyer, I still have to, it's inconsequential because I would still have to represent them.
Yeah, we know that, but then it's not your client.
Right, and anything they say is privileged. But I can't say based off, I'm going to answer it then. But I cannot
Let me tell you something. Hold on. Let me say this before you answer it.
Okay.
Do you know who Kodak Black's lawyer is? I believe his name is Brian Cohen, if I'm not mistaken. Now, okay. He came out and said, hold on, let me pull up what he said.
Bradford Cohen you're talking about?
That's him. Do you have it?
It's on Complex.
Yeah, go ahead and read what he said because I can't find my receipt. I think I deleted it, but go ahead.
Well, he says that he believes that he's going to be charged in a bigger case. And that Cassie is a star witness.
Yeah, she's definitely going to be the star witness. I agree. Now, what do you think about that, about the bigger case? Because they're clearly talking about the SCH trafficking and all of that. So
I think that, yeah, that's a strong possibility. He could be charged with another significant case. Like I stated earlier, the feds don't typically get involved in these types of cases unless, number one, they know that the person, they have a very airtight case, or it's number two, it's politically motivated. Now, politically motivated, also being racially motivated as well, because we've seen that happen with a lot of Black Panthers and so forth by the feds. Now, Diddy is not a Black Panther. So
far from it. Okay, but continue.
But at the same time, I do know that, yes, it's not uncommon. He did have that lawsuit going on with and Brother Andrew Wyatt even brought it on your show, the stuff and dealings he had with Ciroc and so forth. Maybe, perhaps it could be a factor. But I think what the lawyer is saying is probably likely true, that they're gearing up for something. Because when they did the Surviving R. Kelly documentary, I think that was in 2019, I had started to hear rumors from people. Corey Holcomb, who was on 5150 show, he had even heard that, and he said it himself, he said, R. Kelly is done. They were coming after him, and I've suspected, especially what I was seeing with this Me Too movement, that was going to be the next target. So yes, I think that there's a strong possibility there's some other charges that could be hitting Diddy, and I think that he likely, and again, his best move was to be quiet about the whole thing.
That's the best thing he should have done. But him coming out and talking is just doing the most. And let me say this. He's absolutely going down. Okay. You don't have to say it, Gavin. All right. You don't have to answer that question about whether you think he's guilty or not. Because at the end of the day, I'm here to tell you he's guilty. Okay. And at the end of the day, he's going down. And here's the thing. And here's the thing. They don't want me off the jury. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, no, I'm joking. I'm being facetious. But clearly, I do believe that he's guilty of a myriad of things. Some things that he's been accused of and some things that he hasn't been accused of. But at the end of the day, he's definitely going to be indicted, because what's that saying that the prosecutors have that I love to say? You can indict a ham sandwich, okay? Meaning you can indict anyone for anything.
A ham sandwich, yeah.
Yeah, you can indict anyone for anything. And we all know how that works with the grand jury. Okay, so Queen Sam says Diddy has bragged about his nefarious behavior. That's right. Allegedly. Okay. That's because Honeycombs is an arrogant SOB. That's right. Michael M says, Queen, Kodak Black lawyer is not Gavin. No-ish, Mike. I know that. Okay. I'm having fun with Gavin. This is my friend, so please sit down and be quiet. Okay. I know what I'm talking about. And Gavin also knows what he can and cannot say, as do I. Gavin knows darn well he could have told me whether or not he felt like Diddy was guilty, because Diddy's not his client. Okay. Now sit down somewhere. But with that all being said, this is going to get very interesting. And I think that indictment's coming soon. That arrest is going to happen soon. And here's the thing, Gavin. I'll ask you this, beloved. Do you think that when this whole thing first started, now you remember that Diddy's attorneys, I believe it was Sean Hawley, if I'm not mistaken, who said that Cassie was basically trying to extort them for a period of about 6 months. Now, on Cassie's side, okay, so you remember that. Now, on Cassie's side, they were saying that basically they were trying to reach an agreement. They were trying, to get him to cough up the money. And so Diddy didn't do it. In hindsight, I believe that Diddy, of course, wishes that he had done that. Now, if you had been his attorney, had you been his attorney when this mediation was going on, or they were trying to settle this amicably, when they were, before the lawsuit was ever filed, when Cassie was coming to him and her attorneys, and they were coming to him and saying, my client is saying this, and she wants this amount of dollars, would you have advised Diddy to go ahead and give her the money, or would you have, done what his lawyers did and basically said, okay, played hardball and then risked these allegations coming out?
Well, depends on several things. If the lawyers know about the video that dropped, or if they didn't know about it, they probably would have their probably advice and what they were doing was like, nah, don't plead to anything. But let's put it this way. If I had information I knew that could possibly have hurt my client, that had he taken care of something immediately and not be bothered with where it goes to the press or anything like that, and I had a chance to bring it to him, I probably would have. But my thing, hindsight is 2020. I don't know what his lawyers did or didn't have at that time and what made them plead. But remember this too, the settlement. Mm-hmm. In that settlement were the other companies that she sued. So I've always, and someone even broke this down, when there was a settlement, the insurance companies played a role in that settlement.
Yeah, I went through all of that. Yeah, I know. I already discussed all that.
Right. So he didn't have to necessarily settle that if he didn't want to. The insurance company did. But
the bottom line is, what I'm saying is, we know the insurance company did all that. But what I'm saying is, prior to her even filing the lawsuit, when she came, her and her attorneys came to Diddy's attorneys, to his team, and they said what they were going to do, which is file a lawsuit. And they gave him an opportunity to go ahead and give her the amount of money that she was asking for. And we know that they did that because his attorney said that she was trying to extort them. Like they were saying, basically saying either give me the money or we're going to file this lawsuit.
Right.
So no matter how they want to frame it, they gave them an opportunity to go ahead and pay her, which he ended up paying her anyway. And of course, like you said, in hindsight, but had you not known where it was going to go, and you knew some of the allegations at least that she was saying that she had against him, right? Do you think that you would have, and of course you wouldn't have known all the information. Nobody knew about the tape, because I don't think even Cassie knew about the tape. Even though Cassie said that he paid for it, I don't think that she knew that he still had it. Because who would be foolish enough to keep it? Why would you keep it? You paid $50,000 to make it go away. Why do you still have it in your possession? It should have been destroyed in 2016. But with that all being said, do you think, you can't be 100% sure, I would assume, but do you think you would have told him, hey, let's just wait and see if they filed the lawsuit, or maybe you should just go ahead and offer her something, at least offer her something, rather than saying that she's trying to extort you?
Perhaps so. If you just wanted typically speaking, most celebrities will just settle stuff, and if you got the money for it, where I don't have to be bothered with it anymore, I'll do that. Now, here's a key thing, though, too. You have to also, if you're trying to get money from someone, there is such a thing called extortion, where if you are trying to get money from someone and you do it illicitly in some way, you can be jailed for that. That actually happened with Autumn Jackson, the woman that tried to get Bill Cosby, say that was my dad. She got caught because she actually faxed in a letter asking him to pay this instead of going through an attorney. So
not smart.
Right. So I've Cassie, and I'm assuming Cassie came there with her attorneys and asked for this.
Yes. Because they said her and her attorneys were trying to extort them.
I would have if I had known some stuff, maybe I would have talked to Sean and said, look, bro, why don't we come up with a number? Maybe this might go all the way so we don't have to be bothered with it. What does she want? Blah, blah, blah. Perhaps I would have done that if I had known some of the information was coming out and going to be true, because again, my thing was to be my deal would be to protect my client's reputation. Now, here's the other aspect of it. With these settlements that they have and they give these monies, they also make them sign non-disclosure agreements not to tell anybody anything. And had she done that or broke it, then she could have actually be sued, and actually they would try and get the money back from her. Now, some circumstances, depending on what you look like, they don't do that, a la Andrea Constant, because she broke the NDA on Cosby, but she never returned the $3 million back. She spent it all.
Now, when there's a criminal case and the feds tell you to testify, or they subpoena you, you have to speak whether you sign the NDA or not.
Well, yes, if it's a criminal case, the NDA doesn't suppress the law wheels of justice. If you've been subpoenaed for it, but at the same time, this was the thing with Cosby, the reason why the statute of limitations in that case, honestly and truthfulness, they had expired, according to what my interview with Tom Mesereau and his private investigator, Scott Ross, they even told me. So it shouldn't have been brought to trial in the first place. The prosecutor had an agreement.
Right. I remember that. Now, with that all been said, Queen Sam wants to know, okay, because I discussed this the other day. Queen asked Gavin about the drug mule and his get out of jail free card. Now, with that all been said, yeah, that's what you think? Absolutely. That's what I said. I mean, come on now, because here's the thing. And I love the way they printed up in the article. There's your answer, Queen Sam. The queen was right. I told you. Here's the thing. I love the way they printed it in the article, Gavin, because they said, oh, this is standard, for someone who's a non-violent offender with no priors, right? But here's the thing. That's the standard for a misdemeanor charge. He had a whole felony. And even if in the case of a felony, now this is for the laws in Florida because they have different laws in different states. But as it pertains to Florida, they basically have very strict laws about illegal substances. And so therefore, if you have less than 28 grams, right? Even if you have residue, you can get a felony. Right. So with a state with such strict laws, you mean to tell me he got nothing? Like, this is crazy. Not even probation. He just got a diversion program for 6 months. But in their, according to their own laws, usually if it's a felony and they want to give you, they decide for whatever reason to give you diversion, it's going to be at least 18 months, and you have to be under the supervision of the DOC.
Department of Corrections.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, typically,
Exactly.
well, let me say this, because I have clients who've been in the diversion programs here. Diversion, for those that don't know, that's a program you get into if you break the law and you're a first-time offender, and if it's basically, it can be a misdemeanor, it also can be a felony. They can give you a diversion program, so it does happen. But if you're telling me they just dropped his charges after 6 months, he didn't have to, and he got in the diversion program. So he's completed diversion already, or he's enrolled in it?
No. He hasn't completed it yet. He's enrolled in it.
Okay.
And so they say once he completes it with no hiccups, no issues or whatever, then all those charges are gone, and that's just the end of it. It's done.
That's not, well, that's typically, no, let me say this. That's not uncommon to happen if he's a first-time offender. If he's not a first offender and they offered him that, then that would look real suspicious. But he is a white boy. I noticed that.
Well, first of all, they dropped one of the charges also, the one about the lace candies. They took that one off and just went for the Coca-Cola. Don't say the word, but Coca-Cola. And so, yeah, but they're, like I said, 6 months in the diversion program, right? And then everything's a wash. In Florida, the diversion program for a felony is 18 months under the supervision of the DOC, and also it's much more expensive than the regular diversion programs.
Right. So if he's getting, so what you're saying is they offered him a short diversion program. Do I understand that correctly?
Exactly. And then right. And and then everything's just gone after that. And then no probation. Okay, no probation even, not even that. So I'm pretty sure he snitched. Because here's the thing. Even if, they want to just go ahead, even if that was the policy, which is, as I said, the 18 months, but even if they wanted to just give him diversion, correct me if I'm wrong, but what do you think about the fact that they know that he has information that they can use? They already interviewed 4 people the day of the raids, 3 women and 1 man. If this guy has information they can use, what's the likelihood of them just giving him a get out of jail free card and not getting anything for their troubles? Wouldn't you think that they would likely ask him some questions and want him to cut a deal rather than just saying, okay, here's what we're going to do, if they know that he knows something and they're trying to build this case?
I mean, they likely already have. And
exactly
what has happened, or what would happen, is they would probably drop the charges. In exchange, he gets immunity, which they can't do, and he would have to testify to that if that was the case.
That's all I want right there.
But I think if 6 months in probation for a cocaine charge is very suspicious.
Gavin, I asked you not to say the word.
I'm sorry.
You already said it now. You've said worse, but go ahead. I'm going to have to think twice before I have you back on here. I'm going to have to think twice before I have you back on here now. Because you can't follow the rules. A simple rules, Gavin.
It was impulse. Excuse me. I'm used
Hold on. Let me contact my attorney and see if I can sue you for this in some kind of way. For damages.
It's $1.
Okay, so great. So thanks for answering that. All right. So does anyone else have any questions for Gavin? Because we're about to be out of here. Okay. We're about to be out of here. So Gavin, listen, I thank you for coming on here and giving us your legal expertise as well as your opinion. And so with that all being said, Diddy clearly, made it worse for himself. Shouldn't have said anything. That apology fell flat. I get what he was trying to do, but yeah, it would have looked a whole lot better if, like you said, he'd gotten the legal. Thank you, DJ Big Six. It would have looked a whole lot better. There you go. All right.
Thank you, Chris. YouTube is
Thank you, Al Rich. Please remind him in case he forgot.
They monitor me too. I'm shadow banned.
Now, with that all being said,
They're monitoring us.
Yeah, but I'm not going to keep on saying stuff because I already know. But now here's the thing. With that all being said, let me think if make sure there's nothing else I want to ask. Everybody's saying great live. Thank you guys. RG Titan said we got you, Gavin. Okay.
No, can I just say just one quick thing?
Right. Tawana said just pre-record. Exactly. Right. Gavin, I got to pre-record you because guess what? You need to be edited.
Well,
okay, you need to be edited. I'm sorry. I got
YouTube needs to be checked because ScrewTube needs to be checked because here's the thing.
No. We're not going to talk about ScrewTube. Talk about that on your channel. Okay, I'm not about to go in on ScrewTube. We don't need to check them. You can check them on your channel. I'm done talking about ScrewTube at this point. Now, back to what I was saying. We know how it goes down in these ScrewTube streets. I'm not trying to have any more issues with them than I already have, period. Okay? That's exactly right, DJ Big Six. Now, so Gavin, here's the thing. At the end of the day, we got it all settled that so the apology was not good. Should have been done by the publicist or the attorney. You say the attorney should have come out and said something. Let me ask you this before you leave. So in the event that it goes to trial, which it clearly is, those criminal charges are absolutely coming. That indictment's already got the ink dried on it, in my opinion. So now when they go to court, do you think that these people who were removed from the lawsuit, Lucian and UMG, do you think any of those people might potentially be subpoenaed to come forward to testify? Since they were mentioned, not because they're in the lawsuit, but because there's maybe information, and I think they do have information of what was going on at those so-called freak-offs, of what was going on the yachts and things like that. They possibly know some of the victims. I'm pretty sure they do, specifically Rodney Jones. So do you think that they possibly would be subpoenaed? Thank you above all that drama.
Depends on what they...
Let's just say if the things in the lawsuit filed by Rodney Jones are true, if they were at some of these parties, they did see some of the stuff going on. If they didn't fund it and they didn't, participate in it, and they've been removed from the lawsuit, which they have. So now my question is again: do you think if those things are true and they were there and they did see certain things, or at least the prosecution thinks that they did, do you think there's a probability that they will be asked to testify?
I can't see their attorneys allowing them to testify, though. When you get subpoenaed with an order to come, you have to, but their attorneys likely would get involved, like Lucian Grange and Motown, or Universal, I should say, because Motown's still part of it. Right. They would have to. I can't see the attorneys allow them to testify once they were mentioned in the suit, and only because it could, if it's something that could incriminate them, I could see their testimonies could possibly be limited, depending on what they're asking. But yeah, I don't see it. Just depends on what they would be testifying to. So the attorneys might request a motion to talk to the judge in camera, which is in his conference.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
When Diddy's indicted and arrested, I don't mean to smile, I'm just so thrilled thinking about it, but when Diddy's indicted and arrested, right? You think he's going to start singing like the Mississippi Mass Choir or no?
Might put out a mixtape. Another mixtape. Let's play 2.0. I think if that happens, I'm hoping it's not something that ends up. I don't want to see. I never want to see anybody lose their life. And
I don't either. I definitely don't either.
I don't want to commit suicide or any. Well, I'm sorry. Can I?
Gavin, you keep saying all these trigger words. Gavin, I'm going to definitely edit you. Next time, you're going to definitely be pre-recorded. Okay? You do not say that word. YouTube's going to send me an email asking me if I want to do anything nefarious to myself. Okay? That's what they're going to do. Hold on. Somebody's asking me. Somebody's asking me. I don't anything. Listen, Gavin. We're not going to get into all that. Don't ask me. I don't set their algorithm. Now, I'm going to go to the video of his apology because someone just asked me to go to it. And I'm going to play this little quick TikTok video I did about it while I was on live earlier. While I had everybody watching the video. I was just really stalling them so I can hurry them do my TikTok so I don't have to do it later. All right, so I'm going to show the apology. Hold on. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Gavin is so nefarious. Gavin, you're not to be trusted with your words. Okay? I'm just going to have to, quite frankly, pre-record all videos that you are on, honey, because you just cannot. All right, here we go. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Ahmadiyyah Shakur. Well, Diddy has come out and given an apology. Now, this is after the video came out of him assaulting Cassie. Let's get into it.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock,
word.
but I made no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. Got to go into therapy. And going to rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and call cap on that. At the end of the day, I don't believe anything that Diddy said in that apology. I don't believe that he got any sort of therapy. If he did, why are there still allegations against him? Current allegations, not old ones, from Rodney Jones. And why is there another person who came out recently, okay, Amir Motamedi, basically said that Diddy tried to blackmail him from the industry and all of that. If Diddy was really sorry for what he did to Cassie, he could have basically apologized at the 2022 BET Awards where he shouted her out. Okay. And he could have said that at any time after she filed the lawsuit. This is nothing more than Diddy trying to paint a narrative, trying to control the narrative. He and his attorneys and publicists likely all got together, got in a football huddle and said, you know what? Now you're going to have to come out and say something. You're going to have to address this, okay? Because they're trying to do damage control. That's all it is. Let's not forget months ago, after the allegations came out, when he said enough is enough. And he talked about lies have been levied against him by people trying to grab a bag that they don't deserve. That's what he said. He called Cassie a lie. He called all of the accusers liars. Is he really sorry? I seriously doubt it. Please pay attention. All right, there you have it. Diddy he looked forlorn in that video. I will say that much. He looked forlorn. And if I didn't know any better, I would have literally felt a ounce of empathy for him. But alas, I cannot. Because I know that Diddy is quite frankly nefarious. Now, I don't know if all these allegations against him are true, but I do know he's nefarious. And let me just say for the record, I was at one of Diddy's parties. There I said it. Really? I told y'all. Yes, I forgot about it because it was so long ago.
Yeah. Oh, they're gonna subpoena you. I ain't
hey, hold on now. Whoa, let me tell you something. Like Denzel said, I left before the devil showed up. Please pay attention.
When was this? Wait, was this in the 90s?
It was a long time ago. I was in Cancun, Mexico, and they were having it was spring break, mind you. Okay, I was young and foolish, and nonetheless, they had this. They had the players' ball. They had a celebrity bullfight. They had Diddy's white linen party, and I went to it. So I'm just telling y'all. I think I told y'all this already. I'm just coming clean. So if anybody try to expose me, and they have me on some of that footage, no, I'm just kidding. But seriously. I was at Diddy's white linen party in Cancun, Mexico. That was a long time ago. But I had almost forgotten about that. And I think I told y'all that already. So look at everybody going in. I mean, Queen, you was at Diddy party. Oh no. But like I said, I left before the devil showed up. So please miss me with it.
This was this was around All About the Benjamins time.
At the end of the day, I don't remember. I don't remember when All About the Benjamins came out, but it was a long time ago. Okay, and I will say this, and I was in college and it was spring break, and I remember. Well, I'm not gonna say who was at the party, but I will say the people that I saw in Cancun was Method Man, Redman, Donnell Jones was out, was there. Was in Cancun, Nelly. There was a whole bunch of people, is all I'm saying. Okay. I'm just saying there's a whole bunch of people there.
So Biggie, around this time, Biggie was
Biggie was dead. Biggie been dead. Him and Tupac both was dead. Yeah. They've been dead. Now, with that all been said, okay. Hold on. All above all that drama says, was that the freak mom era? Pixie Lola said, we ain't heard this story. I could have sworn I told you guys.
I haven't heard it.
Y'all sure? I could have sworn I told you all for real. I have pictures and everything. But I could have sworn. See, Buckhurst DC said, I remember you said that, Queen. Thank you. But I knew, honey, I come clean, okay? As soon as all this stuff started coming out about these nefarious parties, and then I'm sitting up here going in on Diddy one day, and I thought to myself, wait a minute. Well, you know what day that I think I told you guys about it? It's the day that I was reporting about how Diddy got so popular for his all-white parties that he took, basically there was another guy that was having all the a lot of celebrities were going to his all-white affairs, and then Diddy started doing it so much bigger than him that Diddy became more known for it. And that's when it clicked. I said, wait a minute. You were at Diddy's white linen party in Cancun, Mexico. Oops. So I'm just saying.
But you didn't see Diddy there. You were there.
No, I saw Diddy there. I definitely saw Diddy there. Hush, okay. Shut up, Queen.
Oh. Good morning. Hello.
Queen Sam said, the great Gatsby. Christopher said, I remember you said that, Queen. Thank you. See, I can't plead, honey. All right?
Diddy was looking like Big Red from the 5 Heartbeats. Huh? My office hours are from 9 to 5.
This is all so nefarious. Let me get out of here before I tell the wrong stuff. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway. Yeah, I'm telling you, we've seen there were so many people there in Cancun that year. And they'll probably be there every year. I don't know. But I'm just telling you, definitely, yeah.
Out of the country, yeah.
It was a nice party, is all I'm saying. Now, I didn't talk to Diddy. Because I didn't like him. I never liked Diddy, okay? Never liked him. At the end of the day, I did go to that party. I mean, the shame of it all. Everybody who I went to Cancun with was going. My roommates at the hotel and everything. They was all going. You was turning it up, Queen. Well, I was having a good time. And as a matter of fact, we were standing in line one day and I saw Method Man and because we had VIP passes to get in everything quick. But even this particular night, even the VIP line was long. We were going into this one club and I saw Method Man and Redman going in. And I said, hey, I told the security, hey, I'm with them. And so he called Method Man. He was like, hey, is she with y'all? And he looked back. He was like, yeah, come on. So I just said that I was getting in where I fit in. Is all I'm saying. Y'all,
you saw Clifford. That's Method Man's real name, Clifford Smith. Clifford.
I love Method Man, honey.
Love Method Man, the dollar bill. Yeah. He's a great he's a great actor too. If you've watched him on
absolutely.
Power, yeah.
Have I love 50 Cent. I watch every show that 50 puts out. Somebody said, Re-Educated Soul said they're having palpitations. Queen going to parties, son getting hit on. What's really going on? Oh yeah, Gavin, did you know about my son?
No.
My oldest son, Diddy, is trying to hit on him in Vegas. I did a whole live about it. I was literally on live, and I think my son either called me when I was on the live or texted me when I was on live, or either right before. I think it was right before the live had started. And I asked him, can I talk about this on live? Because I'm going in on Diddy. And he was like, yeah. So anyway, yeah. So he was in Vegas, and Diddy and his entourage were there, and Jason Lee from Hollywood Unlocked and the girl Gina Hune. I think that's how you say her name. The girl that said Diddy stomped her stomach. Okay. Yeah. Another alleged abuse victim. But nonetheless, so they were talking and Diddy came over and was speaking to Jason Lee and asked who my son was. And then he was like, oh yeah. He was like, bring him, because he was telling them there's a party at the hotel. And then he's like, bring him. And he just kept telling him, make sure you bring him. And my son was like, what kind of weirdo keeps telling somebody to bring another dude to the hotel, for a party or whatever. I was like, this is all nefarious, honey.
Did he be watching your lives?
No, you don't be watching these lives.
I'm getting revenge on the Queen. Who's the Farnsworth? Get his information. Farnsworth Bentley.
Not Farnsworth of Bentley. Kanye had to hide him, so they say allegedly.
Yeah.
Had to help him get away from Diddy. Okay, so with that all being said, let me stop spilling all this tea. And
I wonder what he thinks, because I haven't heard much from him, huh?
You mean Farnsworth?
Yeah.
Well, he left a cryptic months ago. He left a cryptic message. He left a very cryptic message. And people were saying that it was something pertaining to Diddy. Hold on. James Allen says Mark Rubin that took over the white parties now. Right. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, I think that Farnsworth Bentley, when he left a message, darn, I can't remember. He left like a clip from one of those shows. It was Sesame Street. When they were singing about the number 21 or something, or number 20 or something, and they said somehow that had something to do with Diddy. I don't remember. It's been a while. I reported on it. It's been so many stories that I've done on Diddy. At this point, I can't even recall. And then somebody left me a message, left me a comment on my one of my Instagram pages, saying that at this point you're obsessed with Diddy. And I said, and at this point you must be obsessed with me being obsessed with him, because you're on here watching all these videos. So please sit down somewhere. Okay, so anyway, I want to thank you all for tuning in. I thank you, Gavin, for coming. Queen been living a glamorous life. I want to know all. Let me tell y'all something. At the end of the day, I've already said too much, okay? That's all I'm saying. I've already said too much. Now, everyone, please get the likes up. Please like and share. Thank you in advance, beloveds. Gavin, you want to give them your information, your Instagram, your channel, and all of that?
Yes, you can follow me on IG at grich_productions. You can also, I'm on Rumble as well. Rumble is actually, I'm on grich2786. Rumble is actually a great place where we have open conversations as well. First Amendment is not infringed like it is here. But I am on YouTube channel gboot2786. I've been a guest of the Queen, and I love being on her show, and I also love to have her come on one day. So thank y'all.
All right. So, Gavin, I didn't know you were on Rumble. Okay, great.
I joined Rumble actually like 2 years ago, but I never didn't put anything out until recently. I started to do a lot of live streaming there, and that's because which
I know. Because the stuff is going on. Yeah, I'm on there too. Okay, so with that all been said, everyone please get the likes up. Please like and share. Thank you in advance, beloveds. Y'all know I love you all to life. And I hope to see you all in the next broadcast in the morning for your morning wake-up call. Go ahead, Gavin.
Happy heavenly birthday, Malcolm X. 99 years.
Right, absolutely. Rest in peace to Malcolm X. Okay, so I love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Peace, family. Thank you.
Hi. Monster on the beat, ho, Debo, any rap nigga, he a freak though. Man down, call her Amber Lambs, tell him breathe, bro. Nail a nigga to the cross, he walk around like Tizo. What's up with these jabroni ass niggas trying to see Compton? The industry can hate me, fuck them all and be mama. How many options you really got? I mean, it's too many options. I'm finna pass on this body, I'm John Stockton. Beat your ass and hide the Bible if God watching. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. Certified boogeyman, I'm the one that up to score with him. Walking down whole time, I know he got some hoe in him. Pole on him, extort shit, bully the flow on him. Say Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You better not ever go to cell block 1. To any bitch that talk to him and they in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from him. They tell me Chubb's the only one that get your hand-me-downs. And party at the party playing with his nose now. And Baca got a weird case, why is he around? Certified lover boys, certified pedophiles. Wop, 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 wop. That fuck him up. Wop, 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 wop. I'ma do my stuff. Why you trolling like a bitch, ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor. They not like us. 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 You think the Bay gon' let you disrespect Pop, nigga? I think that Oakland show gon' be your last stop, nigga. They cold foul. I don't know why you still pretending. What is the owl? Bird niggas and bird bitches. Go. The audience not dumb. Shape the stories how you want. Hey Drake, they're not slow.